Howdy doody, it's your boy Loudy, and today we're going to be doing a little something different. No, most of the time you're seeing YouTube shorts, but today we're going to be going in for something a bit different here. We're going to try out doing an Apex Legends weapon tier list. So let's get right into it. All right, so we found this one. I couldn't find a season 12. I went for season 11. I couldn't find season 12, so I went with season 11. So hope to God that we can do something. And now in this, you're going to be seeing a lot of the weapons that I use a lot of the time. Some weapons now you might think is a god tier, and I might think it's not, or like a low tier, something like that. Just know this is what I think, and I'm gonna explain every single gun best as possible. So let's get into it, shall we? All right. So first we got up is a 30-30 repeater. Now, if I'm honest, 30-30 is a very good gun. It can be in the right hands. In my hand, it is not. It is not in my hands. But using the 30-30 at range with also shatter caps for close range, I'd be putting that in the high tier because it can be quite powerful if you use it right. So I'm going to put it in high tier for now. Maybe we'll organize everything by the end of it. The Alternator. Personally, for me, I put it at mid tier. It is a good gun, but I wouldn't see myself using this after, like, probably first zone. Arenas, though, this would be probably top tier if this was arenas. But this is Battle Royale, so I'd probably put the Alternator in mid-tier because I'll get it off drop and use that for the start. It's a good beam weapon. It's quite powerful. The Bocek bow, I'm sorry, but I love this thing. I don't use it often, but when I do, I kind of decimate with it. And I don't know why, but to me, it makes me feel like Hanzo from Overwatch. Yet again, I used to main him when I played that game. And I add in the shatter caps as well. Like, this thing, it is powerful. This weapon is very powerful. I mean, now, when it first released, it was very strong. But now it's a bit more balanced, but it's still a very, very good gun. The Kar SMG, I have to put that at mid-tier. It is a good gun. It's a better time to kill than the R99, but I much prefer my recoil control. Like with the barrel and stuff like that, this thing's very easy to control. Off drop, I try to avoid this because 9 times 10 it's eating up both my heavy and light ammo. Because if I run a car, I'm most likely going to be running like a flatline or the opposite thing. So I'll probably run light and heavy at the same time. And it just messes up the flow of my entire gameplay. Next, we got the charge rifle. Personally, for me, it's a low tier. It's a low tier. Yeah, it can do some decent damage if it's in the right hands. Again, it's just like the 30-30. But in my hands, it's not that good. And it kind of plays into the whole, get a Gibby, get a Watson, get a Cossack, and just sit somewhere and get farm damage. Kind of ruins the fun of the game. I mean, like, those players that normally use them are kind of easy to kill. And 9 times out of 10, when you die to them, you feel a bit stupid. But what can you do? Next is we have the Devotion. Now, I'm not a fan of the LMGs. I kind of hate them. I have a built-up, pent-up aggression with them. But if I'm honest, I have to put the Devotion in high tier. It's a strong gun. Give that a turbocharger. It can become quite powerful. That's all I have to say about that. Next, we have the EVA 8. Personally, for me, this used to be up here. But since the nerf and the buffs to the other shotguns, the EVA 8 just doesn't do it anymore. With Maggie, it can be quite powerful, but other than that, I don't see myself using it that often. Flatline, I am a bit of a sweaty boy when it comes to that gun. So, to be honest with you, I gotta put that in front of the bow. Flatline is probably one of my favorite weapons to use. It's probably the most scariest weapon for me to use. And a lot of people, very annoyed about it. Next, we have the G7 Scout. Personally, I gotta go mid-tier. The double tap on it is quite cool. It like when it first came out, that thing had like literally no recoil. But now, because I have to make it fair, now in care package with that double tap, if I ever do get the G7, I just change it over back to a single fire. When it's in single fire, it's quite lethal. So what I might do is up it above the car, actually above the Alternator as well. It's almost high tier, but not. Next we have the Havoc Rifle, and if I'm honest, this thing's probably, I say it's better than the Devotion. Give this thing its turbocharger, learn its recoil spray. This thing is a decimating weapon. Get this at the start of a match, such a big chance of winning. It just feels so nice to use. Some of the clips I've hit with it are disgusting. Next is here we have the Hemlock Burst. If you can aim and beam with it, I'd probably put it above the Devotion. But in like control and stuff like that, it'll be up here. But in just normal use, I'm sorry, it'll probably be just above that charge rifle and EVA 8. And yeah, just above the charge rifle and EVA 8, mainly because it's another one of those like sitting weapons. But the Hemlock has got that like wits about it where you can literally just hide the entire fight and get away with it in single fire. And if you need to, pull out a PK or an EVA 8, depending on how people play. Next we have the Kraber. Enough said. For really, the Kraber, it's a very, we all know it. It's a strong gun. It's a strong sniper. When they see a Kraber on the map, it shivers down your spine. This thing is so powerful. If I'm honest, of course it's going to be above the bow check. But if I get the Kraber, 9 times out of 10 I miss my shots. But when you hit those satisfying shots, there's nothing you can get over with. Next we have the L-Star. This thing would be up here, but lately it's been kind of lackluster. So I have to put it above the EVA 8. Not above the charge rifle or the Hemlock, but I put it above the EVA 8. I just don't like it used to be. It still is quite powerful, but I don't see myself using it at the later game. Dark game, yes, like you just drop and this is the only weapon you can find, I'll use it. But other than that, I probably will not touch it. Next, Longbow. If this thing still had a skull piercer, this thing will be up here. But I don't know why, but with the Longbow, I just feel like I cannot aim with it. Personally, I cannot hit anything with it. If I could hit stuff with it, I would 100% use it a lot more, but I sadly can't. Next, we have the Massive Shotgun. If I'm honest, I've got to put that above the 30-30. It's not quite top tier, but I put that above the 30-30. The shotguns in this game, sometimes they don't seem like they don't hit reg, but it's a massive stock shotgun, and now with the whole new dual shell thing that was added back in season 11, it is quite powerful. It's a very good gun. Get even a blue bolt on that, and it's quite strong. All right, next we have the Mozambique here, and there's not much you need to say. This thing is super powerful. For a pistol, it has hammer points now. Thing can hit for 100 on a headshot. I think even more on a headshot. It is quite powerful. I don't know what to think about it, but in arena, it's very good. I probably see myself running around with this thing a lot more. P2020, I say low tier. It's one of those weapons you pick up off the floor at the start of the game. You're stuck with it. You can't do anything with it. You use that. Hammer points though, like if you had a good beam weapon like an R99 or something like that, switch to the P2020. Back when disruptor rounds were in the game, like back in season 2, and then when it was added into care packages with the Alternator. Mozambique Alternator, a very good combo. Even Alternator at P2020, very good combo. Next is we got the PK. I gotta put it up in top tier. It's a very powerful gun. It can hit for 100 just like the Mozam. New sliding hop up, it's quite a powerful gun. I'd probably pick this up most of the time. It's either the Mastiff or PK, but 9 times out of 10 I see myself with the PK, especially when I have one of those like very clean skins, the ones with the very nice iron sights. Next we have the Prowler. I don't know where to put this one, to be honest with you. I'd probably put it mid tier. On controller, this thing is a demon. It's very powerful. But mouse and keyboard is kind of difficult to use. Now saying that, I don't use mouse and keyboard that often, but I do use it. The Prowler is like one of the last guns I look for. Next with the 301, it's high tier for me. Yes, it's a very powerful gun. It's a very good gun. I have to admit, it's quite powerful. Like, it's literally a laser beam, but to me, the Flatline does so much more. So I'd probably put the 301 here. Or 99, with the playstyle that I play, to be honest with you, I put that up there. That's like one of my go-to loadouts right there. Flatline or 99. I don't need a barrel for this gun. It's such a powerful gun. Of course, like the car now, if I'm honest with you, has a higher time to kill. But in all else, I would always be using the R99. This thing is lethal. Just either have the pay-to-win skin on it with the very nice iron sights, or put a red dot on it. Next, we have the Rampage. Enough said. All right, next we have the RE45. Lately, this thing, to be honest with you, I have to put it top tier. I've gotta. Lately, with the hammer points hop up, the The Ori is just a demon of a gun. It is so powerful. Even though, actually, to be honest now, before it, if we're talking season 11, it'd still be a powerful gun. Definitely put the Ori 45 in top tier for now. Next, we have the Sentinel. I hit shots with this. It's quite a fun gun to use. Most likely I put it just higher than mid tier. Like, I put it in high tier, but it's on the borderline of mid tier. It just barely hits that high tier point. The damage is great. The tempo stuff on it is quite good. 9 times out of 10, when I'm using this is because I can't find any other gun. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. Next, we have the Spitfire. I have to put it in high tier. It's a very good gun. It's a spammy gun, but you can't outwaste the damage. Like, it's super powerful. Get a 2 times or even a 1 times on that thing, and it's just going to melt. Next, we have the Triple Take. This is a hard one, to be honest, because 9 times out of 10, I don't use this as a sniper. I use this as a shotgun. If I was to use this as a shotgun, put it in mid tier. Mainly for the fact of it's like the G7, it's like the Sentinels, it's like that for damage. You could use this thing, get easy red shield so fast, but it's still quite a powerful gun for close range and stuff like that, especially with the choke and stuff. The Volt, personally to me, it is a good gun, but I gotta put it in a mid tier. I know the Car SMG and the Volt, I think, have the higher damage per second than the OR99. Just don't like it. I just can't aim with it. It's one of those guns that I kind of struggle with. Like with a Digi-Threat, I can aim with it okay. Now that it's in care packages. The care packages now, I feel like it's a good settle point. It's quite good. It's quite good now. Even though it still is good. It's just not a gun that I probably use. The Wingman, to be honest with you, I'm putting this dead center mid tier because sometimes this could be a top tier gun, and then sometimes it could be a bottom tier gun. Sometimes I literally land every one of my shots, and it's a demon of a gun. And then sometimes I miss every shot, and it has to be put down here. So I'd probably put the Wingman exactly mid tier. I'll put it exactly mid tier. It's not better than any of these guns. I'm just saying it's mid. That's all I'm saying. Personally to me. All right, so I'm going to do a quick double check, see if I need to move any things, and we'll get back to it in a moment. Okay, so I did a bit of adjusting. I've moved the PK a bit forward. I've moved the 301 to top tier. Moved the bow check down to high tier. I've moved the Car SMG up to just behind the Volt. I've moved the Wingman up as well. Triple Take, moved it. I moved the Charge Rifle back down to bottom tier. So yeah, that is my full tiers of the weapons. I'll drop the link for this tier maker so you can make your own. I would love to see what you guys think about this. This is how I see a lot of the guns in the game. It's been Loudy, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.